Dobbs was one of a number of people who had personally guaranteed a loan made by the bank to the Manly and District newspapers. The loan agreement included the following provision: a certificate signed by the branch manager stating the balance of principal and interest due shall be conclusive evidence of the indebtedness at such date. In other words, if there was ever a dispute between the borrower and the bank about the loan balance, the bank could automatically win that argument simply by producing a signed certificate which would be conclusive evidence of the debt. Something went wrong, the judgment doesn't say precisely what, and the bank sued on the guarantees. Dobbs and the others tried to argue that the conclusive evidence provision shouldn't apply because the provision was against public policy. You see, a contract provision will be against public policy and void if it seeks to oust the jurisdiction of the court. That makes sense because the whole idea of a contract is that it can be enforced by the court. So a contract where the parties agree that the contract can't be enforced by the court wouldn't be a contract at all. Dobbs argued that the conclusive evidence provision essentially stopped the court from deciding what the balance of the loan was and that this was not allowed. The court did not agree. The majority judges said no contractual provision which attempts to disable a party from resorting to the courts of law was ever recognised as valid. It is not possible for a contract to create rights and at the same time to deny to the other party, in whom they vest, the right to invoke the jurisdiction of the courts to enforce them. Justice Stark, in a separate agreeing opinion, said, "The clause in question here contains no stipulation, express or implied, that any party shall not resort to the jurisdiction of the courts at law. It is an evidentiary stipulation for use before those courts." From this case, we confirm that a contractual provision whose purpose was to oust the jurisdiction of the courts would not be valid. So a contract that stops parties from going to the courts at all would be invalid. But a contract that merely establishes the dimensions of the dispute, leaving the outcome to the courts, is acceptable and enforceable.